everybody, and thank you so much for joining this session. My name is Brian Bottalico. I'm the Director of Partner Development here at Microsoft, and today we are talking about Copilot for Microsoft 365. So very excited about this topic. I think it's a fantastic tool for you as business owners and as users to really incorporate into your day-to-day business. But let's start a little bit further back. And why are we talking so much about AI? Well, the reality is that small business owners and small business staff are really struggling to find the time and the innovation and the data that they need to grow. In fact, I'm guessing all of you sitting here watching through this are thinking to yourself, wow, I'm doing way more today in my job than I've ever done before. I'm doing way more in my business than I've ever done before. And that actually creates a lot of stress, and that creates a lot of anxiety and creates a lot of overall burnout. And a lot of employees are feeling that they just don't have the energy to get through all those tasks every day. And small business leaders are struggling with finding ways to be innovative and think strategically. And so they're looking for tools and they're looking for solutions to this overall problem. And this is why we've seen AI tools like Copilot for Microsoft 365 really come onto the scene. In fact, we know 80% of workers in small businesses today, 80% of workers are already using some sort of AI tool in their day-to-day tasks. A lot of them are using things like ChatGPT, and a lot of them are using Copilot for Microsoft 365 if the organization has enabled them to do so. Unfortunately, a lot of leadership and a lot of owners just don't really have a plan yet in place of how they're going to implement all of these new tools. And so I want to say that you're not alone. There's a lot of resources available to you. I'm going to highlight a number of those today that you have access to really help develop your overall AI strategy. Now, AI transformation, it's not just about the technology. It's not just about the razzle and the dazzle, but what are the actual impacts? Why, right? Why are we doing this? Why do we see it as such a big value? Not only to the employee, right, to really help them thrive in their role, but what is the value it brings to your business? How does it help you to optimize costs? How does it help you to reduce costs? And so what we're seeing just from Copilot for M365, just to start there, as I start getting into some more details, I want you to be grounded in a couple of things. It's about time returned. So Copilot for M365 is giving individuals users up to 10 hours back a month in their day-to-day work. That's hours that they can use to be far more productive for your organizations, far more use in their personal lives, or whatever they kind of choose. And the impact that we're seeing of those hours returned to the actual firm is pretty significant as well, up to a 6% lift in revenue. I'm sure we're all thinking about, return on investment. And if I'm going to go out and invest in AI, what am I expecting to see? Well, it's a 6% return just in revenue, a 20% reduction in operational expenditures. And as I kind of mentioned, knowing that employees are really dealing with a lot of this stress and a lot of this task overload, 61% of the companies that have deployed Copilot for M365 so far are noting that employee well-being is the top outcome. Obviously, no surprise to us knowing just how burdened a lot of our end users are. So let's start getting into it. What exactly is Copilot for M365, or what is Microsoft Copilot? And I think the best way to just start us off here is this video that's really going to show you the power that this tool can bring.
Whoa. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Stand still, that's the motto, yeah. Brand new bands for the auto, oh. Foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Vault full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy, boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big. Said it, never had to shout it. They said I couldn't ever do it, okay, how's this? Fit a week worth of work in a minute. Machine well oiled, you know how I stay efficient. To-do list written, I do this different. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't finished. Look, flows the same now. Paved the way, the snakes and fakes are chased out. Back to back to back, I changed the pace now. Had to stack the cash until the bank's out. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop.
All right, so I hope that video giving you the overview of what Copilot for M365 is gets you as excited as I am about this product and really the impacts that I think it can provide to your business. So let's kind of get into some more of the details. We're going to go through some demos. We're going to really show you how the product works and make sure you feel really comfortable. We're not going to be able to cover everything, but there are amazing resources, and we'll do more of these workshops to really help you get very comfortable with this tool so that you can get that full impact of this AI tool set in your organization. So let's net it back. What exactly is M365 Copilot, right? Just to get it down to brass tacks, it's an AI assistant, right? This is where we've brought the generative AI tool set in to allow you to have access via business chat, which I'll detail here in a moment, are embedded into our various applications. It's really that AI assistant for work that helps your end users boost their productivity and their creativity, helping you to do things like create PowerPoints and pivot things in Excel. And again, we're going to show some great demos here, but just to keep it really simple, this is that enterprise grade generative AI technology embedded into all of the applications your users are using every single day. And if you just want a place to start to begin experimenting, if you haven't really looked at Copilot yet, just start at Microsoft365.com/Copilot. And that is where you can start engaging with the Copilot system, understand more of its capabilities and its technologies. So let's go into a little bit more detail, and I'll break it down in a couple of different ways of how Copilot really comes to life for you and your organization. And it really starts with business chat. When we think about Copilot, and hopefully you've had a chance to kind of play around with it now and gone to that website, really it's just a UI, right? It's this interface that allows you as a user to engage, ask questions, and engage with the underlying technology. It is grounded in the web. We have the free version, which I'll detail here in a second, but it's grounded in all of the information that's on the web. Elements of it, if you're in work mode, are grounded in work data, but it really allows you to interact just through that basic business chat interface, asking questions, creating content, analyzing information to get quick insights where, typically the legacy way of doing this would be to go and search and rummage through a number of different articles. This is really allowing you to engage more in a natural language way to get the data and the information you need, both just generally, but also routed and grounded in the way in which you work. So let's take a look at what Copilot Business Chat looks like, and we'll take a look at this demo.
Copilot Chat gives you free and secure enterprise-ready AI chat powered by GPT-4o in a familiar and consistent interface. Say you work in business planning for an EV charging company and you're developing the strategy for the year. You start by asking Copilot to do some research on the web. You want some basic information, like how EV charging has grown by region. Copilot is grounded in the web, so it can reason over the entire internet and quickly pull the relevant information. Great! Now let's see how these national trends compare to your sales results. With Copilot Chat, you can easily and securely upload files, like your sales data, and have it visualize your regional sales for the past few quarters. And you can continue to iterate with Copilot, like asking it to recommend strategies to help increase sales in lower-performing regions. With Copilot Chat, you can quickly gather insights from the web and securely upload and analyze your data, bringing the power of AI directly to your workflow.
All right, so hopefully that gave you a good overview of just what that interface looks like and how you might, as an organization, begin to use that for your workers. Now, the next one I want to highlight is the one that I honestly personally use probably the most in my everyday. It has had a tremendous impact for me personally on just how I manage my overall day-to-day, and that's Copilot in Teams. Now, Teams, if you're not using that, is really the biggest, most hero product of Microsoft when it comes to just employee productivity. Again, I use it every day for my meetings, for my calls, for organizing my calendars. I have instances where I forward emails automatically. It's just really that collaboration space for me where I engage and work with all of my colleagues. But I would say that admittedly, I am a very, very bad note taker. I've never been able to really figure out how to have a good system for overall note taking. And so when Copilot and Teams came along, this really just summed to me because I was now able to rely on the Copilot system to record my meetings, to capture detailed notes accurately, provide me with recaps, provide me with summaries, and assign action items. It's made me more productive. It's made me faster in terms of providing information back to my partners and to my colleagues internally. And overall, knowing that the accuracy is there, that I didn't miss a detail, has allowed me to just let that go. And what it's really turned into is not just the benefit of having good and accurate notes, but it's turned into something that's far more beneficial for me personally. And that's that I'm able to participate in meetings. None of us want to do more meetings. None of us want to have an extra recap or a follow-up to the meeting to the follow-up to the meeting, right? It kind of gets redundant. This has allowed me to eliminate a lot of those meetings because I'm able to participate fully in the conversation in real time versus asking for those details. Oh, what did you say again? And so focused on the really bad note taking, I know that the system's got my back. So let's check out this demo and see Copilot in Teams in action.
Copilot in Teams can now reason over both the meeting transcript and the meeting chat to give you a complete picture of what was discussed. You meet as a team to discuss the customer's RFP. As the meeting wraps, you think you might have missed some questions in the chat. Often the best ideas and the most thoughtful questions happen in the chat. Now, Copilot in Teams captures this valuable, higher bandwidth conversation. Let's open up Intelligent Recap and ask Copilot if you missed any questions. It quickly scans what was said and what was in the chat, looks for questions, and checks if any were left unanswered. Now you have a list of any open questions without having to scroll back through the chat. With the help of Copilot in Teams, you can quickly and easily stay on the same page with your team.
I hope you're as excited about Copilot in Teams as I am. I can tell you again, personally, this is something I'm using every single day. And it's just been a tremendous uplift to me in terms of just my overall productivity day to day. So listen, there are so many ways in which Copilot is integrated into all of the Microsoft applications. I'm going to highlight one more, but know that every Microsoft application, from SharePoint to Word to PowerPoint to Excel, all of these have tremendous value and bring an amazing amount of power to you as an end user, or to the power to you as a business owner or as a manager. And so the last thing I want to highlight is Copilot in Outlook. Now, similar to for me when it comes to note taking, emails also just not really a strength of mine. Clearly, I need to find some better systems here, but Copilot has become that system for me. So Copilot in Outlook really has allowed me to prioritize emails, to recap very long email strings. A great example of this is I recently took some time off after being on the road at trade shows for several weeks. And so I was really 3 or 4 good solid weeks behind on email. And I knew I had missed some things. So I was able to use Copilot to go in and ask questions of my email. Where was I called out? Where do I have a call to action? Could I summarize any urgent items over the last couple of weeks and allow Copilot to really solicit that to me, saving me tremendous amounts of time? In the past, to be honest, when I would come back from PTO, sometimes I would just ignore all the emails and know that someone would follow up with me. But the idea now is, okay, that's probably not the best system. Using Copilot has allowed me to identify emails where there were some urgent asks or urgent tasks for me, and I was able to prioritize those. So let's take a look at this demo of how Copilot in Outlook is really working.
Managing your inbox can feel like a full-time job. But now, Copilot in Outlook can help you prioritize what's in your inbox. It analyzes all your emails using both the content of your messages and the context of your job, like who your manager is and who's on your team, to highlight what's most important. You can then sort by priority based on Copilot's analysis. Let's take a look at this email from a new customer, Tailwind Traders. When you select it, Copilot shows you why it thinks it's significant and highlights what action you need to take. This is a key customer for the next few months, so you teach Copilot that all emails mentioning them are a top priority. Now Copilot knows to prioritize any email from Tailwind Traders. Copilot is your partner, helping you manage your inbox so you don't miss what's most important. Now let's switch to Outlook Mobile. You have to run to a meeting, but you don't want to leave the customer hanging, so you need to draft a response on the go. We're making it even easier to be productive on your phone with Copilot in Outlook. Copilot analyzes the email and offers some suggested responses. Now all you have to do is pick one as your starting point and instruct Copilot on what else to add. Copilot generates the solid draft, and it's ready for editing. Because this is going to a customer, you want to make it more formal, so you ask Copilot to adjust the tone. You can easily flip through the options and select which version you like the best. The second paragraph could also use an update. You can edit it yourself or ask Copilot to help. Let's highlight the relevant section and tell Copilot what you want to include. Once you're happy with the edits, you can accept the changes and your email is ready to send.
Just a handful of demos here for you just to get a sense of how this Copilot system is really working. And again, I hope you're really excited about all those features and what it can actually do. So let's just, again, kind of summarize why Microsoft 365 Copilot is really the right fit for the business community and for the small business community, right? Really, the first and foremost is it is designed for work. All of us are looking at the variety of applications that exist in the market. And so many of them are consumer applications and they're great, but they're not really designed to optimize work. And that is where Microsoft is founded. We are focused on business productivity, and Copilot really is singing in this space, making sure that it can analyze all of the web signals, but also all of your work information and all of your work data to solicit the right answers to you. You're not just getting random information. Knowing it's grounded and routed in your work data and your work documents through the M365 graph gives you confidence that when you're asking questions of Copilot or you're soliciting answers from Copilot in an application, that it's grounded in sources that you can trust. And trust is really the other thing. We didn't talk much about security, but when you think about enterprise-grade security, especially in the small business space, it is paramount. If you don't trust what's going on in your organization, your environment, you kind of lose a lot of your edge. You can have faith and trust that the AI system from Microsoft and the Copilot system from Microsoft is really grounded and routed in trust. We are not sharing the data or the information that you share into the tool to train models. We're not sharing that information outside of your environment. The second piece here, obviously, is the M365 suite as a whole. Things like Microsoft Defender, all of that is really critically important to having a really great security protocol. And all of the Copilot systems follow any security protocols you put in place. So you have control to really make sure that this meets all of your security requirements. The last couple pieces here is, it's really the opportunity for you to be creative and customize this. Copilot really is your system. You can point it to the sources you want to. We didn't talk really much about the next iteration here, which is really about agents, automating tasks. There's so much more to come when it comes to Copilot, but just know that this investment here in the Copilot system is really something for you to create, something for you to control, to look at your organization and what can AI do to solve some of the major problems or major concerns you may have or roadblocks in your business today. Just a few more examples as I kind of go in here. When we think about how Copilot can impact not only at the product level or not the examples of the demos, but let's talk about the roles. AI can be somewhat generic. So let's talk about how it impacts individual roles. When you think about you as maybe a potential business owner or an operator of a small business or a medium-sized business, what are the different things that you can do? How can you use Copilot in your day-to-day, right? So you saw the demo on Outlook. It's a great example of, as a business owner, you're starting your day, especially if you are like me, I'm in the West Coast, perhaps you have employees on the East Coast, and all of a sudden you're coming in and you're starting your day with tens of 20s of 30s of emails, right? Immediately able to use Copilot to organize that, summarize them, using Copilot in Word to draft project plans, using Copilot in Excel to more quickly analyze data or provide insights. Great opportunities for you as a business owner. And I know you as a business owner, you are strapped for time. This is about alleviating some of the burdensome work, some of the mundane work, and making sure that your time is used more effectively, more strategically to help grow your business. When we think about marketing is interesting, right? My background is in marketing, and I wish I had this tool when I was really in that marketing manager type role, just to get me started, to get past that blank stage, that blank page type of syndrome, right? How can I use something like Copilot in Word or use Pages, which is part of the Copilot system, to just start getting a project plan together, to start creating content, to start getting ideas flowing, to analyze maybe what our competitors are doing, and just to get a sense of how do I get started here? What are some ideas? That doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but it allows you to move on very quickly just to get things moving pretty fast. Listen, there are so many different scenarios in which Copilot can have an impact. We do have great resources here also for you in the Copilot scenario library, and I'm going to be providing those links here So a lot of you might be thinking, all right, this is great, but I don't really know what to ask. I don't know what to do. I've got this great system, but I don't know, it kind of seems a little maybe silly, or I just want to ask some funny questions. So, what is, the first 10 things that maybe you should consider trying? And here's just some examples of what we're seeing small business owners and users and staff and employees really do in their just kind of first use case of using Copilot for M365, right? So basic things, obviously asking questions, right? How does this compare to my competitor's product? Helping you draft an email, helping you to summarize documents, right? And there's some great examples here of prompts that you can use. And we've got hundreds of these. If you're really thinking about, well, what could I use this for? We have a prompt library as well. If you're just interested in reading what all of the different organizations out there are using Copilot for, just to get an idea of what you can ask this system to actually do for you. So as we wrap up here, I want to highlight some resources. We understand that technology can be complex. As a small business, it definitely gets more complex. And what do I do? How do I start? How do I even deploy this? So we've built a success kit for you. So if you take a look at this links here, or if you want to scan this QR code, this will take you right to our Copilot success kit. And there you can download resources to help with onboarding, employee adoption, or anything that's going to help you get the most out of these Copilot investments. And then lastly, just some additional resources. The adoption page is probably the most critical one. So if you just go to adoption.microsoft.com and you click on Copilot, there are hundreds of resources. Everything I mentioned today, they're available for you to play around with, to read through. Great tech demos, everything from how to deploy this to how to use it. And so I highly suggest that you take a look at the success kit, that you take a look at these available resources if you are looking to get the most out of your investment in Copilot for Microsoft 365. So with that, thank you so much. I hope you found this beneficial, and I'm looking forward to engaging more with this community.